an adverse reaction to so-called liquid Brazilian butt lift treatments with physical and mental side effects. The victims came forward after we first highlighted concerns about the filler BBL procedure back in December. The organisation Save Face, which is a register for medical aesthetic treatments, reported 153 complaints since our report about liquid butt lifts and hip dip procedures. 53% of those developed blood poisoning, sepsis, and 27% of all complainants needed corrective surgery. In this special report, Ellie Pitt brought together 3 women who suffered severe reactions. She also confronted one of the men who administered some of the injections, and a warning that Ellie's report contains graphic images from botched procedures, which you may find upsetting.
Just before we listen to this, I don't know how many times we said it like 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure we did like a BBL video and I said, these girls that are doing this, they're going to pay the price.
Yeah.
It is not worth injecting shit into your body.
No.
The only one I don't mind is the boob augmentation. I'm against boob implants, but I think they do a thing where they raise them.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can get breast reductions, you can get them raised, you can get implants. When I saw this, right, on ITV News, I was sitting there and I was like, why are people a lot more accepting of boob jobs than they are bum jobs? You know, it's still plastic surgery. However, I think that boobs, I think there's a lot more knowledge behind it, or it's a more safe procedure. Any surgeries to do with the bum it's very dangerous. I think it's a lot more detrimental.
Because you sit on it as well.
Yeah, there's just a lot. You've heard of more things going wrong with that than you have boob jobs.
I think the reason that people find it more acceptable is that if you have no titties, you ain't got no titties, that's it. You ain't got no tits, that's it. It's like if a guy is born tall or short, like that's it. That's the hand that God dealt you. But with the butt implants and the BBLs and all that shit, you can go to the gym and it does take time, but if you graft, you can craft out a nice little bum for yourself.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Skinny girls that go to the gym and squat have really nice bumps. They're the ones that go and get butt implants. You look ridiculous. I'm sorry. I don't even mean to be rude.
It does look awful.
It looks stupid.
Yeah.
First of all, some of them don't even bother to go to the gym after. So they've got these big old plastic bums and then these tiny stick legs.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when girls go to the gym and they work on their lower body, it's reflected in all of their legs. So their leg goes into the bum.
Yeah.
And it all looks nice. But if you've got these skinny Kim K legs and then this fat bum, you look stupid.
Yeah.
So the idea that, because a lot of them will say, I'm doing it for myself. No, you're not. No one's injecting themselves with that BS for themselves. You're doing it because you want other people to look at your bum. You're doing it because you want people to find you attractive, because that shit's dangerous, especially when you hear statistics like this and you hear how high the risk of it going wrong is and you still do it. You're not doing it for yourself. That's a load of hogwash. You know, someone believe that for 2 seconds.
No, absolutely not.
Just go to the gym. Like, gym bums, like an authentic gym bum is so much more attractive than a BBL. Girls used to think, or some girls that I spoke to used to think, oh, I don't want my bum to be hard. And I used to look at it and be like, that's not how bums work. Like, your bum is not going to be hard because you squatted.
Yeah, but it's toning it up. I get why they're saying that, but I can understand insecurities and things like that, but I don't think it's anything worth going under a knife for.
Yeah, I think the first thing that girls that want to do that need to really sit down and think about why they're doing it, because a lot of them lie to themselves and say, I'm doing it for me, but you're not. You're doing it to post it on Instagram so that Tyrone or Jermaine can start liking your pictures, so that you can start getting attention.
From the wrong people.
Yeah, from the wrong people. People that are encouraging you to do that are not the kinds of people you should keep around you, and you shouldn't let social media pressure you into doing those things. A natural girl always looks better than an enhanced girl. Like, the ones that work on themselves. If she genuinely goes to the gym and works on herself, she's going to look better than the enhanced one.
I feel like I've been medically abused.
I could literally get my side and just like go like this and stuff would come out, would squeeze out, like after about 6 months.
I certainly would not be going ahead with any more treatments.
Monique, Bonnie and Pagan have all had a cosmetic procedure called a non-surgical Brazilian butt lift. It involves hundreds of millilitres of synthetic liquid called filler being injected into the buttocks to achieve a larger bum and pear-shaped figure. But an undercover investigation by ITV News revealed that practitioners with no medical training can go on a one-day course and then perform the BBL.
They should go to prison. They should go to prison.
They're investigating it.
Man, do you know
Can't do a crash course for serious medical things.
Do you know what? Do they tell the girls beforehand that these people have done it for one day?
Do you know what?
Because if they do, you deserve what you get. I'm sorry.
I also find as well that you get what you pay for in life. And if you are going to go somewhere because it's cheaper, just know that you're not going to get top quality work, because people who pay, like who charge top dollar, are going to be more qualified professionals.
I know people that have gotten BBLs.
Do you?
Yeah, I know. I actually know a lot of people that have gotten BBLs. Some of them deny it. I know you got a BBL because I knew you before you had that bum.
I just think it's unnecessary.
It is unnecessary. I don't mean this in a rude way, because I know some of them watch the channel. I don't mean it in a rude way, but you kind of fucked up, and you have to sit on that thing. It cannot be comfortable.
Yeah. Do you know what it is though? It is obviously the hype of things these days. It became into fashion starting from people like Kardashians, and like if you go America, every girl's got a bum job. Every single girl, and it genuinely, it doesn't look nice. It's literally copy and paste of every person you see walking past you. And just like watching a simple clip like that where the girl's just standing there and you've got someone injecting her ass just to make it bigger, I look at that and I genuinely think this is just so, like, it's just not needed. It's really, really not needed.
I think they should ban it. I think they should ban it. I think BBL should be banned. I think I can hear an argument for breast implants, even though I would just rather you didn't. I find girls that even if you've got an A cup, I would prefer that than breast implants, if I'm being completely honest. I just don't like implants on the body, but I'm more willing to listen to a breast cup argument than BBL.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, I know they do boob lifts or whatever. If your boobs are sagging, they just lift it up. Whatever, I don't think there's any real health complications unless you go to a real idiot. But with BBLs, there's just no excuse. It's like guys. Do you remember that story came out of guys getting knee surgery to be taller? And I was like, and they were paying.
I've always wondered if knee surgery was actually a real thing.
It's a real thing. They go through like a year of rehab because they can't walk properly after it. They literally go through. And the funny thing about those guys is that like some of them would go from like my height to 6 foot. But their arms were the same length as what they were when they were like 5'8" or 5'9", and I'm like, but now you look like a One Piece character. You look like a cartoon character. Your arms are
like a T-Rex.
Yeah, you're like this, but you're like this, and I'm just like, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. I'd much rather just go to the gym. This is the hand that God dealt me. He gave me a couple W's. He gave me a couple L's. It is what it is. Go to the gym. Work on yourself and just be better than what you were yesterday. And that's it. Knee surgery, BBLs, all of these people, because obviously there's a lot of pressure on guys as well for their height. And some people succumb to it. Some people genuinely let it get them down. And those people obviously lacking in confidence if you can let people get to you like that.
Yeah.
There's like when I go out, I see a lot of guys that are taller than me. And I would be lying if I said it wouldn't be nice to be taller. But unless you're literally going to wave a wand and I'm going to have zero side effects, I'm not going to do it. You're not going to pay me any amount of money to change my height via knee surgery. I can't even fathom going into there and knowing they're putting me under and they're going to go into my knees. Fuck off. I'll be at home playing Tekken.
Our footage showed unhygienic practices and dangerous needle techniques that experts told us were horrific. Multiple women contacted us after our report and shared the psychological and physical pain they've experienced following botched liquid BBLs. Monique spent more than a week in hospital because she developed a serious infection that led the skin on her bum to rot away.
It came up in blisters. They then started to pop, like all the filler was coming out, blood. It was terrible. And the next day I woke up and my side was like black with holes in. They took me for surgery, scooped some of the skin away. I was in pain for about 5 weeks, like excruciating pain for about 5 weeks. It was awful. I couldn't really, I've got a little boy, he's 8, and I couldn't really look after him properly. Like, it was terrible.
Bonnie collapsed at home after her procedure and was rushed to hospital in an ambulance.
The doctors come into my room and just basically said, look, you're really poorly, you've got sepsis. Had your sister not have called the ambulance when she did, she said you could have died within the hour.
See, this is where I have the issue with it. But do you know what it is? It's that these women here on this panel have kids.
Yeah.
And you're putting your kids at risk of not having a parent, all because of your own vainness.
Yeah.
Because you want to have a big ass. And you're doing this stuff, because me personally, I think that when you become a parent, I think things should change. Your priorities and responsibilities are going to be different, because you've now got someone who is depending on you, and you need to be there for them. And you've got a child, and you care about having a big ass. So how about look after your child and don't worry about your ass? Do you know what I'm saying? Someone loved you enough beforehand, before you had injections, and having a bigger ass is not going to make people love you more. I understand insecurities, we've all got them, but I just don't think it's worth putting yourself and your child at risk just to have a big bum. It's, for me, I can't fathom it. It's not.
I mean, I would even go one step further than that and say that, yeah, I agree with you. If you have a kid, you should be putting them first, and these procedures are dangerous, so you shouldn't entertain it. And it's also not one that you need to, it's just, you don't need to do it.
Yeah.
Period. But forget the kid. Like, you have parents. Your parents raised you. In my opinion, as long as you've got like a healthy relationship with your parents, when you get older and they're older and, you know, they can't really move around as much anymore, you owe it to them to help them, you know, before they're on their way out. So I think that you should look after yourself for that reason as well. Also, I mean, I don't know if it's the way I look at it, but I think there's a lot of people around me, like you included, that have either helped me or been there for me. And I think you owe it to those people to be around, like to be healthy. You know, because we all having friends is the most fun thing in life, really. Like, you have to have friends and family. And I think when you're privileged enough to have those things, you should look after yourself and not do stupid shit.
Yeah.
I'm not against people taking risks, okay? If someone wants to take a risk on something and it makes sense, then okay. But if it's to get fucking BBL and knee surgery, I'm going to be like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's you've got to pick your battles, but I think it's outrageous that you're there and you now can't look after your kid because you wanted to get bum injections. And it's like they're sitting here feeling sorry for themselves that they've gone through this. Yeah, granted, it's sad that this has happened, but that was your choice to try and go for something like this at a place that's not, say, fully established with fully trained professional doctors.
That's the craziest thing.
And how does that make you feel, sitting there knowing that your child was unable to have a parent looking after them because you wanted a bigger bum? I keep going on about it, but it's because that is the only way I'm looking at it.
No, and the thing is, like you said at the beginning, you get what you paid for. I'm sure there's surgeons in the world that will do a much better job than someone that did a crash course, but you paid for someone to do a crash course on your bum. It's like if I
find it selfish.
If I went and got my tattoo at any Tom, Dick and Harry down the road, because I've seen some people with these tattoos, and first of all, I think that if you're going to get something like this, you should probably show a little bit of respect to the culture and to your own body as well. They're tattooing you. So I've seen some people with them, they're already fading, the designs all over the place. There's no real like pattern they're following. Some guy that saw The Rock or Roman Reigns just was like, yeah, I'm going to do this as well. And I'm just like, and they say to me, where'd you get yours? Why it looks so good? And I'm like, yeah, I paid a lot of money. Like, if you're going to affect your body in some way, do it properly.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Actually got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, even with tattoos, you go to the wrong person, you might die. They might not clean the needle properly, or they might do it incorrectly somewhere. I've heard of horror stories of tattoos as well.
They hit a vein or something. Yeah, is that a thing?
Yeah, doing tattooing, like the art of tattooing is a very like difficult thing. That's why when I was getting mine done, I looked and I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. Also, when I went to him, he was just covered. He did his own head. I was like, okay, he obviously knows what he's doing. And you know, he's a nice guy. But anyway, my point is that, I mean, I wouldn't encourage you to get a BBL anyway. But if you're not going to listen and you're going to do it, then you should probably pay top dollar for it, because that's your bum. You have to live with that bum until they bury you. So you may as well pay as much as you can for it. But I'd still say don't do it. Just go to the gym.
I think this is the cheaper version of, and supposed to be the less harmful version of a BBL, because you're not actually getting like implants and not slicing you open. They're not taking weight from anywhere else on your body and putting it there. This is literally just injections, like lip filler essentially.
Yeah.
But what do you expect by injecting unknown things into your body? Like, our bodies are not made for this sort of stuff.
It's actually pretty sad that human beings feel so insecure to the point that they would go and have someone smash a part of their body part to enhance it, to make them feel better, because Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or people in their workplace or friendship group have made them feel like less, or they've watched MTV and they've seen Kim K or someone on there. I'm glad that I never fell into that, because obviously I grew up watching like superhero stuff and all those guys are like super buff and they're tall and hench. But I never thought to myself, oh man, I'm never going to look like Thor, or I'm never going to look like Aquaman or something like that. I always just thought to myself, oh, like I want to be strong like them. That's literally where my trainer. I'm so glad that that's how I looked at it, because I really do feel sorry, especially for women, when they look at some of these celebrities and they're like, oh, I'm not as beautiful as this. Like, there's some celebrity, I can't remember what her name is, that she is gorgeous. Like, she, in my opinion, she might be the top one in Hollywood right now, some blonde woman. And I was reading the comments under her post, and all of these women were just like, oh, I wish I looked like her, I wish I looked like her. Blah, blah. I was like, this is sad.
Yeah, it's sad to wish you looked like somebody else. But look, if I'm going to be completely real here, right? As you very well know, for me, I would love to get a nose job, right? And it's not because I look at other people like I want to look like that. It's my own personal insecurity, and it's something that your nose is right in the center of your face. It does change your look a lot. And I think to myself, I would feel a lot more confident if I had it done. However, one of the main reasons why I haven't done it is because I can't fathom the idea of having to go through surgery, get myself put to sleep,
break your nose.
Yeah, all for a new nose. For what reason? Do you know what I mean? Because if I think about it now, right, I've got a family who love and care about me. I've got friends who love and care about me. I've had jobs. I've enjoyed my life without having to have a nose job. So having a nose job is not going to change the way my friends and family feel about me. It's not going to really change anything. You know what I mean? So essentially, what is the point?
There is no point.
For example, like, it's going to sound really a big jump, but like, some people are not happy or they're insecure about their cars and they want to get a fancy car. But that fancy car is not going to make anybody like you more. People like you for who you are as a person, and that's it. So whether you don't like your nose or your bum or your boobs, it's not going to change anything, because it's you as a person that people like. Yeah.
But I get the car argument as well, because my first ever car was this dinky smart car, and I remember driving it around thinking to myself, man, this ain't me.
Yeah.
But like a year into driving it, I was like, why do I even care? I'm going from point A to point B.
You've got a car?
And for so long, I was like, I'm going to get a new car because like this is embarrassing. And then I actually got to the point where I saved up to get the car. Not this one, but the one before it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, luckily my smart car was actually breaking down at that point. So I was like, I actually do need to get a car. But at that point I was like, why? I understand when you're growing up, because even I remember watching Spider-Man, and the first thing he did to impress Mary Jane was buy a car. And that's kind of what they put in the media. When you're young, the guy with the car gets the girl. And to an extent, it's somewhat true, because when I was in school, there was a guy that would steal cars, and he'd always have girls in his car, because girls, the young girls want to get driven around. But it's all a waste of time, and it's a waste of money. You'll put yourself in a hole trying to impress girls, and they'll disappear like that. That is something that guys do. They'll spend a lot of money on a car, or they'll spend a lot of money on their clothes. They'll go out dressed a certain way to attract certain girls. The only time I will get dressed up is if I am trying to impress somebody for business purposes. But I come to Sabby's house in a fucking Pokemon shop, Pokemon top, and I'll go like this into central London. I couldn't give less of a fuck. I've like obviously my closest friends, like Shaquem and Jamie, they're very fashionable, but I think they genuinely like doing that. I have no interest in it. It's boring to me, but they live in that world, and so I don't think they're doing it for the purposes of impressing people. I think they just enjoy it. But I do think there's a lot of people that
who are doing it for the wrong reasons.
They're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I always sit there and think, do you know what? You're spending all this money on one piece of clothing for people to go, oh, I like your top. And that's it. They're going about their day. They're not thinking about your top anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not actually a big deal to the people who you're getting that validation from.
Yeah.
You know, because they're living in their own world. But did you ever hear, okay, well, you probably didn't because you don't really listen to this type of music, but there's a song J. Cole wrote.
J. Cole.
And it's called Crooked Smile. And if you haven't heard it, go listen to it and just listen to the lyrics because the song is so real. He said something about like they tell me I should fix my grill because I got money now. Basically saying like he's got crooked teeth, and now that he's got money, people are saying why don't you pay and go and get your teeth fixed? And he's like, why would I do it? Look how far I'm here. Look how far I've got without having to fix my teeth. Why am I going to fix my teeth now? Like the teeth ain't going to make a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as long as you're brushing them.
Yeah.
My little boy could have been an orphan.
Pagan went for the non-surgical BBL because it was advertised as only uncomfortable with no recovery time needed. But that's not what she found.
The procedure itself was really painful and it was all a very rushed process. There was not really much talking. I was very nervous, very scared. I didn't really ask what I probably should have asked or what he probably should have explained to me, given that I haven't been there before.
Unhappy with the results, Pagan complained, only for them to ignore her.
I had no welfare towards me. I've now been resulting in being blocked on social media and WhatsApp. I feel very neglected as well for the company.
Pagan and Bonnie booked their BBL appointments through a clinic called Lift Aesthetics, whose list of reality TV star clients includes Katie Price.
Here I am, guys, at Lift Aesthetics. Just had 500 mils put in my bum.
Love Island's Hannah Elizabeth.
I have had a top up 500 mil on my liquid BBL.
And Danny Imbert from The Only Way is Essex. Customers we've spoken to say they were drawn in by the celebrity clientele.
These fucking celebrities.
Who ain't even really celebrities.
Yeah, fucking... Oh, I won't go that far. We'll get demonetized. But these people, whilst I put blame on the girls that went there because they're adults and they should have read and they should have done some more research and not just seen Katie Price on there, these Katie Price types are scumbags. They probably know, and there's probably something else going on behind the scenes. You know how you get brands that will come to you and say, oh, can you put my brand on your show? This is what's going on. They'll feed you all this bullshit. You'll look into it. You'll realize this is actually very, very bad. But we're going to pay you a certain amount of money. Do you remember that sponsor? I'm not going to say the name of them, but do you remember we got that email? And they were like, can you put our Bitcoin, blah, 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 on your page? And I showed Sab and I was like, this is a fucking scam. They're just going to rip people off. Like, people will take the money and, you know, fuck everyone else. Let's just promote this thing that's going to ruin their lives.
Yeah, it's when you see this stuff online, these people are either getting it done for free or they're getting paid to promote it. So whenever I see a product online and there's a celebrity or a well-established person promoting it, going, yeah, this is what I use every day, this is so good for your skin, I ain't buying it, I ain't believing it because it's all bullshit. You're being paid to say this, so it's not genuine. I'd rather listen to the people who ain't making any money and they just genuinely want to share their knowledge. Yeah. So you've just got to understand everything is marketing, it's an advert. So just because you see Katie Price has gone there, I wouldn't then think, oh, it must be okay because Katie Price is there. Like, my brain wouldn't take me there. My brain will take me to the place of she's been given that for free and that's why she's promoting it. Otherwise, why else would she do it? Or she's being paid for it. So
yeah, and this is quite serious as well. It's not like some stupid... Right? I mean, I get why some people will promote certain products because they might not be great products, but they're not going to be life-changing things. It's not going to like throw you under the bus. But these can kill people. This shit can kill people, and they're promoting it. And they're there on their fucking Instagrams in front of all the girls that follow them. The girls are looking at their followers. They're looking at their fame. I want to be on Love Island, blah, blah, blah. That's why they do it. It's just, it's fucking ridiculous. The same as the Liver King, when he was there telling us, oh, live this ancestral lifestyle, follow these 10 tenets, and you'll be like me. And I'm like, you're on fucking steroids, bro.
Yeah.
You're eating every steroid in a 10-mile radius, and then you're telling me I can look like you. And for a long time, actually not for a long time, for some period of time, I looked and I was like, maybe he is just eating raw meat and lifting weights. Maybe he's just a genetic freak. No, of course not. And then he came out and told everyone, I'm taking steroids. I'm not just taking one steroid. I'm on the highest shit. And I'm just like, when people do that stuff, it's scummy.
Yeah.
Because you can kill people.
Yeah.
People can die doing that shit.
Yep.
I can't stand celebrities. I really can't. Like I don't mind promoting a product. If a company came up to us and they said, we want you to promote a product, I'd be like, sure. As long as the product, A, is not going to kill people, and then B, is actually doing what it says on the tin. If you give me some bullshit, I'm just going to say, well, fuck yourself. Now, you want me to kill people for a couple £1,000s? That company, they emailed us, and they were like, yeah. Then I looked at it with my boys, and I was like, bro, this is if we do this, we're fucked. We're going to get a couple £1,000s, but that's it. Everyone's going to unsubscribe to us because they're going to know we're sellouts. And even forgetting that, like, I don't want to. I mean, first of all, I don't even understand Bitcoin. I don't understand it, so I'm not going to promote something I don't understand.
Lift Aesthetics refer their bookings to this man, Ricky Sawyer, who does the injections. Because of our investigation, Epping Forest District Council in Essex began their own into Mr. Sawyer and have stopped him from being able to do the filler BBL in an unsafe way in their local authority area. After he received the prohibition notice banning him from carrying out the filler BBL in parts of Essex, we know Ricky Sawyer has done them in Manchester and here in Canary Wharf in London. Which is where we found him, turning up for a day of appointments, carrying his equipment in a tray and plastic bag. Mr. Sawyer, given that several of your clients have needed hospital treatment and emergency surgery, why are you still carrying out the BBLs? Epping Forest have asked you to stop doing these filler BBLs, haven't they? Is that why you're moving around the country, going to different locations? While I asked him questions, he did not say a single word. Mr. Sawyer, do you really not have anything to say to your clients? He then went into the train station, but just a few hours later was posting online advertising his services. What do you make about the fact that we've been contacted by quite a number of women like yourselves who have had exactly the same impact?
So angry.
Yeah, I don't think it should be allowed, the whole thing.
And I think when something's as serious as, contracting sepsis and having forever scarring, you're messing with people's lives.
I believe he's still
Ricky,
going.
you are a scumbag, bro. You are a scumbag. You can kill these women. Some of them are mothers. Some of them are looking after their mothers. Some of them will become mothers. You're a scumbag.
I actually don't know how legally he's getting away with this, though.
This is insane. This is actually mad. I mean, BBLs on their own are just like stupid, but for this guy to be aware that he could potentially kill loads of girls, like you're essentially going to be a murderer, bruv. If you continue doing it, you're going to murder one of these girls. That's murder. If you know you're doing it and you know there's a high risk of them dying and you've done a crash course and you've been told to stop doing it and you're still doing it and someone dies, you will be a murderer. Obviously he can sleep with that because he knows that he's more concerned about how much money he gets. But this guy's going up Manchester, he's in London, he's going up to Essex. Like, have you no shame? You've got a mum. Surely you must have a mum. You must have a wife or a sister or a cousin or a female friend in your life. What if it happened to them and they're coming to you and there's yellow pus flying out of her bum?
The thing is that if it's a good paying job, just go and get better training or get better products. Like if you're making good money from it, just improve it so you can still continue to do the job and don't potentially fuck up your career and fuck up the lives of so many people. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's solutions to this.
Look, I think that people that do BBLs are on some level scummy. I'm sorry. That's just my viewpoint. However, if you're going to do it, then yes, I agree with Sabi. Go and get proper training. If you're going to be a scumbag, at least like halfway do it properly. We all know BBLs are bad for women. There's no case to be put forward that would put in a positive light. It's purely for aesthetics. It's purely to stun, and it's purely because a lot of them are insecure. Actually, most of them that are doing it are insecure. Actually, all of them are insecure at doing it. But if you're going to be a scumbag, at least train for more than one day. Just like that's the bare minimum. It's so crazy that industry is unregulated. That's insane. That's actually mad, and it's actually very sad that we are at a point in our society where loads of women feel the need to go and inject synthetic BS into their bums. That's actually pretty sad when you think about it.
It is. It really, really is. And it's not until you sit there and probably just take it in and think about it that you realise how bad it is. And
the unfortunate reality, you included in this as well, is that a lot of the girls that go and do these things, they're the ones that don't need it at all. The entire time that Sabi was telling me that she wants to do a nose job, I was thinking to myself, let's look at our Sab. Look at our Sab. Look how pretty she is.
Don't open the door for any type of comments.
Sabi doesn't need a nose job. Just like most of you watching this don't need any work done. You probably consider it at some point because someone's made you feel like shit. Someone's probably cussed you about something. Jamie.
Yeah.
Has he made you feel like shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Jamie.
Yeah. I ain't bothered though before Jamie gets excited. Like, yes, I got one. I'm like, no one cares.
Look, people are going to say mean things to you and you're going to see things on Instagram, but you cannot go to some hack doctor in a back alley that has done it for a day or go on Instagram and see someone like Katie Price doing it and go, yeah, okay, she's done it, so I'm going to do it. I mean, as far as I'm aware, Katie Price is not the brightest tool in the shed. No offense to her. I mean, it is what it is.
Sharpest tool in the shed, but anyway.
Is it sharpest?
Yeah.
Oh, I should probably... I can't be insulting someone if I can't get the saying right. But that's that whole thing was. I feel sorry for those girls, but also I'm like, well, the unfortunate reality is that if this industry is unregulated, then somebody has to be made an example of for other girls to be like, okay, I'm not going to do this. So hopefully, if this video is seen by any girls and you're ever considering doing a BBL or breaking your nose or getting breast implants in a back alley, let this be a lesson to you, unless you want fucking yellow shit flying out of your face or your ass.
Nice way to end the video.
If I ever hear from you or like one of my close female friends, I'm getting a BBL, I will beat you until you get sepsis. You don't even have to go through the whole procedure. Just come round to my house. I will teach you a lesson.
I mean, it's never that deep to feel like you have to get injections in your bum. Yeah. It's not that deep.
It's never that deep. Just squat.
Whatever anyone thinks, I could not care less.
Think about it this way, yeah? I've made so many friends in the gym, and that could be you too, right? You could get a nice bum and make some new friends. It's nothing better than having a gym buddy. I've got friends in the gym that I've been friends with for like 5 years. I still don't know their names. They're just like Gym Bro 1, Gym Bro 2. You know, that could be you. It's a nice relationship. You know those memes where they're like, it always starts out as you think they don't like you, and then you sort of nod at them. And then it's like, and then you ask them for help with the set. And then every day they'll come in and be like, oh, bro, how you been, man? Blah, blah, blah. We don't know each other's names. I don't know where this guy's from. Don't know anything about him.
That's kind of like what it's like at my church. Because you go every Sunday and you see the same faces every Sunday, but you don't necessarily know these people or talk to them. But it's kind of like church friend 1, church friend 2.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It was like that in the arcades as well. Anyway, we digress.
We digressed, as always.